Hello there guys, and welcome. It is Niran here, and today it is time for me to welcome you to somewhat of an F1 2016 first impressions video. Now, I've had the game for about 24 hours now. I've uploaded quite a few gameplays and my first episode of career mode, which, by the way, you guys absolutely smashed with the support. If you haven't seen it already, there'll be a link in the description and a link in an annotation on the screen for you guys to go and check that out. The support on that series, on that episode so far has been just mind-blowing, so honestly, thank you so much for that. If you haven't seen it, again, go and check it out. But today, I'm going to be sort of sharing with you guys my first thoughts on F1 2016 as a game. Now, let's get the obvious point out of the way. It's far better than F1 2015. So if you didn't know that already, if you're very new to the F1 franchise and you only picked up F1 2015 and you haven't really seen so much, that much gameplay of F1 2016 already, it's far better. There's so much more to do. The online seems more stable. I haven't personally tried it out, but from other people's videos, it is far more stable. No desync, not all that much lag, in all honesty, especially given that the lobbies are now bigger than they were on F1 2015, 22-man lobbies instead of 16-man lobbies. On F1 2015, obviously, they were unplayable. So, just getting the obvious point down straight off the bat, it's so much better than F1 2015. We're going to go through the positives of this game, the ones that I found, and they certainly outweigh the negatives, but we will get to the negatives at the end of the video and just hope that Codemasters sort of patch them. They're not fundamental issues, realistically, like we had with F1 2015, but they are things that are slightly frustrating sometimes. So the first positive is the graphics, and you'll notice that as soon as you get into a race. The graphics, as always with Codemasters games, are wonderful. Codemasters have been fantastic with graphics since day one, and that hasn't changed. The graphics on the game are really nice. The daytime editor is fantastic. Obviously, with certain tracks you can have, Singapore in the daytime, you can have Abu Dhabi just alone at night time instead of a sunset race or whatever, and you can have Bahrain, I think, in the daytime as well. And the little sort of lens flares when the sun's setting look really nice, and the car graphics look nice. The spray looks nice in the wet, and just generally the graphics are ace. But we pretty much expected that. You've probably seen gameplay by now anyway to sort of decide that for yourself. But the gameplay and the graphics are pretty damn good. The second positive is handling. The handling on this game is, in my opinion, pretty improved to F1 2015. F1 2015, in my opinion, was already quite good. Obviously, the step up to next gen made it so that it was easier for handling, I guess, to be better. I don't know, but it was obviously a lot better than 2014 and 2013. The handling on this game is still pretty good, and I really like it in the wet. I know a lot of people have been struggling in the wet, but honestly, I really like it. It's so much more challenging. I said this about the beta, I think, back in the day, but it is so challenging in comparison to what it used to be before. The car is constantly wanting to snap out in terms of oversteer. You're constantly getting understeer, but the nice thing is, as horrible as that sounds, the AI have the same issues. The AI are just as slow in the wet in comparison to the dry, so it's not like an unfair advantage like it used to be on like 2014, where the AI would still have amazing traction in the wet. They still struggle, so it's not unfair, it's now just realistic. You are a lot slower in the wet, traction is a lot harder, braking and not locking up is a lot harder, and I really like that, so that's really cool, and obviously the handling of the dry is pretty good as well. The main positive, though, realistically, is of course the reintroduction of career mode, and it's it's just, we all knew it was going to be good, so I'm not going to go into this in too much detail, but we all knew it was going to be good. 10-season career mode, obviously the teams can change when it comes to performance, so Mana could obviously on their own become amazing after 3 or 4 years without you even driving for them. Customizable avatars and helmets, your own number, cutscenes, R&D, everything that's great about career mode is back on the game, and it's wonderful. I can't think of all that many flaws, to be honest with you, with the career mode system. I haven't played it all that much, so maybe I'll make a separate video on the positives and negatives of career mode when I've played it more, but for now, there isn't all that many negatives that I can think of when it comes to the actual makeup of career mode off the track. Obviously, there are a few issues when it comes to gameplay, but we'll get onto that, but the actual fundamentals of career mode off the track, R&D and stuff, is fine. They don't seem OP or anything. The system seems to be working cool, so that is all fine. The fourth out of 5 positives that I'm going to bring to you guys on this this sort of first impressions is race strategy. The AI's race strategy is wonderful. They react to safety cars and virtual safety cars now. They certainly did in the preview build. I can't imagine they don't anymore. And just as obviously in real life, you now have to, you now can use 3 tyre compounds throughout a race, and it just mixes things up so much because the AI are constantly doing different things. Very rarely do the AI stick to the same strategy as sort of everyone around them. There's usually a good 3 or 4 strategies going on in, per race around you. So it's really wonderful to see the AI doing different things, and it really spices it up. You get sort of different results from it as well, and it's just really nice to see. So race strategy, definitely a lot better than it used to be back in the day. And finally, damage. Obviously, simulation damage is pretty good. The only negative when it comes to simulation damage is that the AI are a lot stronger than you as the player. It's a lot easier for a player's wheel to fall off than it is for an AI car, like an AI car's wheel to fall off, which is slightly frustrating, but unless you're crashing into them on purpose, it doesn't really make all that much of a difference. It's still relatively easy, like relatively speaking, it's still easy for their, for the AI to damage their cars. It's just not as easy as it is for the player to damage their car. But yeah, overall the damage is a lot more consistent on F1 2015. The damage model was incredibly inconsistent. Now you can have similar impacts realistically, and 9 times out of 10 you'll receive the same damage as you did before. So that's the positives, and there's a lot of them. And realistically, before I go into the negatives, I just want you to remember that I do think this game is it's a very solid game. It's one of the best F1 games that we've had in recent times for now. We'll see, whether it has the longevity, but certainly at the moment it seems like it's pretty good. But there are some negatives, and hopefully these just get ironed out. Then again, they're not really fundamental, but they are slightly frustrating, as I mentioned earlier. The first one is that the AI are too cautious in some instances when they're trying to overtake you, both up the inside and around the outside as well. Certainly around the outside, sometimes they just drive off the track. Whether that's because they've outbroken themselves, I'm not entirely sure. But sometimes when they try and move around the outside, they just go unnecessarily wide, and it slows them down by like 2 or 3 seconds. And up the inside, sometimes they sort of back out of moves. Sometimes they go for really gutsy dive bombs, but it's a little bit inconsistent, which is a bit frustrating when you want to have a good race with them. The second negative, and it's staying along the same theme of the AI, is they are unable to avoid damaged cars, and this was a frustrating but also quite hilarious factor on F1 2015. It does mix up races quite a lot, but it's also it's just a bit strange, really. I suppose you can categorise it as a glitch, really. If an AI car gets a puncture, for instance, let's say a back marker gets a puncture. The field come up to lap that car, but they don't just drive around them. They sort of slow down and sort of just drive behind them at a really slow pace, or just crash into them and like wipe themselves out or break their front wings. So that's a little bit frustrating. They can't just drive around damaged cars as obviously you would see in real life. If a car had a puncture in real life, you wouldn't just see someone piling into the back of it from a distance away in real life. But yes, that's something that's really carried on over from F1 2015, because that was an issue on that game as well. And then the final thing really is safety cars and virtual safety cars. On the preview build, it was far too easy by the looks of things to get a safety car. As soon as someone spun, there'd be a virtual safety car. But I think Codemaster's gone too far the opposite way for the actual real full game. It's far too difficult now to get a safety car or a virtual safety car. I had crashes in some of my races that are already on the channel that would require a full safety car, let alone a virtual safety car, and they got nothing. A car would actually physically DNF from breaking a wheel off, and you wouldn't get a virtual safety car or a safety car at all, and that happened 3 times to me. So it seems a little bit too difficult to get safety cars and virtual safety cars. Hopefully that is ironed out in a little patch, hopefully quickly soon. I don't know why I said hopefully quickly soon, that makes no sense at all. Hopefully soon is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that is ironed out. But again, as you guys have heard, they're not fundamental issues. They're just mild frustrations. Overall, this game is very solid. It's far better than the 2 games that have preceded it. I don't even know what the word is. The 2 games that have come before, F1 2014 and F1 2015. It's so much better than those. Hopefully League Racing returns to the heights of F1 2013. I can't see why it wouldn't, 22 car lobbies. The online seems pretty stable from what I've seen. I haven't tried it so far, but that's why I haven't talked about it in this video, but maybe I'll do a separate video for that as well, talking about it. But for now, it seems pretty stable, so hopefully we get League Racing back where it was on F1 2013. Hopefully career mode is back when it comes to YouTube videos as well. But that is the end of my first impressions. Overall, a very, very solid game. If you're wondering whether you want to get it or not and you're an F1 fan, I would certainly suggest getting it. If you want to wait for the price to drop, then that's absolutely fine, but at some point you've got to play it because it is a very, very good game. The career mode is wonderful. That's certainly the standout point. If you have enjoyed this video, though, this first impressions of F1 2016, then feel free to hit the likes button. Subscribe if you're new around here as well for more F1 2016 content coming. I'm trying to upload about 2 videos a day at the moment on F1 2016, so you've got so much gameplay, so much content to get your teeth into, so make sure to stick around for that. And maybe leave your suggestions or maybe leave your thoughts on F1 2016 so far. Are you enjoying the game? Have you got it yet? When are you planning to get it? What are you sort of concerned about when it comes to the game? Drop it in the comment section. I'll be sure to read it and reply to it. But that is it from me. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.